Hey, this is Mia. It is 7 o'clock, and I came home and just sat down. My kids, well, yeah, my kid made her food with some support. Mostly, she did most of it. Oh my gosh, the food on TV looks so good. Pulled pork, chicken. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. Can you tell? I made hot water and then my kid went down and turned off her food, and I told her to turn off mine like an hour ago. So I never actually made my food. So I went to work and I helped the midwives. Excuse me, and and I'm going to go bright and early. The sun's going to be up, or at least the birds will be chirping because it's the end of April. So, but my mind is like, oh, I don't want to be there. I want to be there, but it's like, oh, I'm going to be there a couple hours early, which is okay because I was just thinking, just a minute ago I was like grumpy all day about something. I'm like talking and making comments, and I'm like giving energy to this. I could have saved 95% of the energy and used 5% of the anger to just resolve the problem or help my health. Like, I'm grumpy about something. Say someone cut me off. I didn't get in a wreck. I didn't die. This and this didn't happen. I got home okay. I'm startled, but it's like I don't want to. That I'm just making up an example. I don't want to spend. My mind is the type that wants to spend all day. Oh, someone's house on TV is so cute. I don't want to spend the whole day grumpy and complaining to everyone about something negative, because it could have been a lot worse, and it's like, at least you have a car, hopefully you have insurance enough to pay, it's kind of like I don't want to be, sitting here making up stuff, but, like, I don't want to be making up negative stories about what could happen, but I just have to realize that I'm needing to learn, like, some things it's like, I'm appalled, and it's like, this is not right, this is not happening, why is this person doing this, why is this person doing this, and it's like, well, maybe they're just doing the best they can, and they're not purposely trying to bother me, and that I need to save my energy so that I can help someone else, and sometimes I end up making the same mistake as someone else, and then I am like, oh shoot, now I know how you feel, shoot, I messed up, so it's like, I need to take it more, what I do, my parents were teachers, what I do is kind of like, I don't know if this has anything to do with them being teachers, but I get grumpy, I get mad, I waste energy, I spend hours, like, look at the clock, I spend hours fussing, and then I'm like, oh, let's use this as a learning experience, and also I realize that people that I have been in the situation where I do the same thing, because I'm human, and there's some people that are like, I don't respect doctors who make mistakes, and I made a mistake at work. I'm a doctor. I wasn't working as a doctor. I was working as someone else. And it's like, my mind's like, oh, I shouldn't do this job. I shouldn't be a doctor either. And I'm like, a doctor is a doctor. A janitor is a janitor. Someone who's a police officer is a police officer. Somebody who plows the road. Somebody who empties the recycling at the can return. The wink out. Brushes. Stuff happens, It's like, the dude that's brushing stuff, he like almost rams me every time, or he rams my cart, or people, and I'm like, I'm at the grocery store, I'm getting injured, like, this sucks, and I'm like, if I'm working and typing something in a computer and I spell their name wrong and it ends up permanent, that's my fault, I messed up. If I was doing surgery, people do surgeries, they remove the wrong leg or something, they made a mistake, I don't think they went and did it, and it is unfortunate, and I don't think you should be disrespectful and just be like, your career and your whole life is over. I think it's like, speak up and be like, I'm sorry, apologize, acknowledge what you did, make it right as best you can, and then just come up with build your confidence up and come up with a plan. We're going to write on the foot and have someone verify it the next time. And like, even in hospitals, certain hospitals, during, what kind of procedures was it? Certain procedures, they'd be like, I such and such am here, with such and such people, and everyone says their name, and then they're like, we're doing such and such procedure with such and such, do you get permission to do this? And like, we verify that we're here to do blah blah blah, to remove a wart from the foot, whatever. And I'm just making up my own thing that I can actually do. This was in the hospital, I couldn't do it. I can't remember what I did. I gotta go through my notes. And they're like, yes, I do. And someone else says, yes, I also do. And I am the blah blah blah. I am the head nurse of the blah blah blah. Or and they're like, my preceptor doc was like, dude, like, we gotta do this because someone things basically. So now it happens sometimes, and you're like, what do we do to resolve it? Because we're not and no matter what your education, what your job is, every day split-second decisions are being made. Every day you have a potential. You're holding a scalpel. You have a potential to drop the scalpel on the floor, whether you meant to or not. I was wearing sandals or flip-flops or something. I don't wear flip-flops, but I was wearing sandals one day, and the dude at the grocery store had, like, I don't know if he had like, work pants or a belt with a clip on it. I don't know if he was actually opening boxes or not, but he was working in the grocery store. He had a box cutter, and I was looking for food. He was standing right next to me. It fell out of his pocket, out of his hand, or wherever it was, open, blade down. I moved my foot out of the way because I do martial arts. I haven't formally done it, but I was training martial arts. I was watching. You have the whole aisle, the person's right, and they're not doing anything, and they're standing there, and they have knives and weird stuff on them. It falls. I move my foot out of the way, jerk it out of the way at the last second. It falls right where my foot is, right into the floor, with a super sharp blade. And I'm like, dude, that could have totally damaged like my nerves in my foot and cut me and caused infection. Like green. I'm like, wow, muscle tendon could have been cut. It could have been cut all the way to the floor. My foot could have been stuck to the floor. And I understand. I mean, who knows? Maybe he did do it on purpose. Like, let me stand next to this black lady wearing sandals and see if I can drop a knife on her foot. You never know. But in my mind, it was like, dude, that sucked. But it didn't. It was a mistake, but it very well could have been. And the way that the knife, like, of all of the places that it could have fallen, it was right there, and it scared the heck out of me. A long time ago, smart people, people pushing off own cars early 1900s, they didn't have like street lights or traffic signals or police officers, and people would just go to the intersection without looking and crash into each other. And it happens again, and then it's like, oh, some kind of traffic control, going in two different directions at the same time, meeting in the middle. They need to take turns. So it's like the smartest, the richest, the people with the education that are able to have riches and smartness. It's just there's a reason the majority of pencils that I personally see and use have erasers on the end of them. And it's weird, even with pens, we write with pens and we scratch stuff off. Even at work, and people that say, hey, I don't respect doctors that make mistakes, are also saying people that aren't willing to do extra jobs, and people that aren't willing to, it's like they make a lot of mistakes, and when they do it, nobody makes a big deal. And the one thing that could be irritating when you make a mistake is if it comes in and said you make a mistake, or like, let's make sure we do the right thing next time. And that is something that is, to me, it's like, at first it's like, oh God, I don't want to hear this. It's making me feel bad. But like when somebody tells us that, I want to, one of our coworkers, she sometimes can be in a bad mood, but this person will be like, if someone makes a mistake, or she makes a mistake, or she says, this mistake happened, I'm not trying to point fingers, but I just tell all of the workers that this happened is the right way to do it, or this is how to fix it. And I actually appreciate her doing it like that. And she'll oftentimes say, hey, I made the same mistake when I first started working here, or or I made this same mistake over and over again, and then I had to figure it out, and then now I learned it because I sometimes would have some, sometimes you take a task final build, cumulative or something, and it's like, oh shoot, I got that wrong during that quiz or that test. Learn from your mistake, you know. And I was like one of those people who really like to go to office hours. They won't give you your test back. I was one of those people who really want to go to office hours, and I don't talk to other people really that much, but I wonder when you make a mistake, like, is it that it's like, oh, I'm going to go to office hours and be able to have the teacher go through the key, you know, before so I can pass. But in my mind, it's like, okay, let's not make the same mistake twice, you know. Even if I only got one wrong, it's like, what did I do? I was like, oh, you know, I studied so much. It's like, you get your Scantron back, you get one wrong. What is it? Like, is it a question? Is it not this? It's like, why not just learn it correct, whatever that one was? Because it could have been something life-threatening, you know. And it's good to see the other stuff too, because, you know, a couple of you might have skimmed through, or you might have guessed at, or you might have been like, oh my gosh, I don't care about this test, I think I passed, let's just answer B, like whatever, you know. And so there's a like, oh, I'm gonna get this, so I can pass. I may or may not get 100% on the final, but to review what the instructor felt was very important that I can use in clinical work in order to help somebody's health and to not injure or harm them in any way, if possible, hopefully if possible, I'm going to go through. Like, so I always have like the short-term goal is I don't really have study mates and stuff, and I like just even going in to the teacher or something and going over the information and being able to have a conversation with another educated person and be able to solidify and make a cement of this subject. And then in long-term solution of utilize that now concrete in your head to help somebody. And in naturopathic school, we learn so much that it's like, even if it's a class, I remember talking to a teacher like that, or I remember going up after class talking about this, like I might be just, like, I think most people on Friday night, they're going to the bar, or they're not sitting there on YouTube or making videos talking about some old conversation. But it's like, even if it's one of those things like, oh, that's Dr. such and such talked about this, and then I went after class, and then I looked something up, and I came home, and I was like, oh, hi, Mom. And then they had it on the test, I clarified it. I like to bring up the memories of the circumstances around something, because when I remember things, it's kind of like a video, like a cartoon. I watch Jimmy cartoon or something, like a video game or a cartoon going through my mind. Video, colors, sounds, beeping noises, and then that spatial thing, whatever, I can be like, oh yeah, I remember a notebook, or I remember a book on my shelf that has that same thing in it, and it's like I can go, and I am at a stage still where I'm just like, I'm just going to clarify that my memory is accurate, because it's not like CPR, like somebody's gonna die if I go look at a book on a shelf. It's like, it's better that I do look at it until I get, until I get more with doing patient care with a similar symptoms. It's like, repeat it, and it's never, for me, it's never really gonna be like a recipe. It's gonna be individual, case by case, but knowing like what herbs and what homeopathy, like just getting back into the groove of that. So right now, that's what I'm doing by reading stuff. So going to talk about videos off of the computer, memory, hopefully speed up the computer. I am trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. That's what I meant to say. I'm not trying to do that. I am so slow at doing anything that I am just so tired. And I went to 2 hours chiropractor appointment, about around 2 hours, and with bodywork and bodywork today, I was supposed to do this stuff since October, November for an automobile accident, and so I'm getting so much more tired and fatigued, and like I saw someone drinking tea out of a bottle on the commercial. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, dude, and I'm like, I have this cup that actually had tea from this morning, and I was like, oh, like a few drops. I was like, oh gosh, that's so refreshing. I'm like remembering people were like, dude, when you having body work, electric stim, and all this stuff, you need to go ahead and you're deep, like it's releasing toxins and having muscle healing and stuff that's breaking from tissues and flushed out of the body, just making sure that I drink water. And I wouldn't say I was great at drinking water. I'm great at trying to carry it around, but I have this thing where the facility that I'm at most of the time, besides home, there's not a lot of access in time for bathroom breaks. And when I was a student, it was like once an hour. I was trained like just, and so then I bathroom, drink, and sometimes it's like extra thirsty, drink, like go before the hour break. He's like, because there's gonna be a line because everyone else is on the same schedule. So, and I hang out with a lot of people that don't drink any water. So I'm like, oh, that's crazy. But I just wanted to say that I am needing to advertise like a crazy person. I felt the still small voice and the to-do list being ignored and the dust and cobwebs on my mental and or other to-do. If I had another one, I lost it. Besides getting organized in the home, there's a lot of ideas coming up, and it's like I look around when these ideas come up, or I'm learning something or looking something, like how do people do this? Like I have a tiny small desk, how do I do this? And I was like, I pull out the old computers, the new one was broken, and I'm like, was desperately needing a computer, and the phone is acting up, and the internet is acting, like all this. Clean this whole surface off, wiped it down, and even if I just put everything back on, there's bound to be some like wrappers, gum wrappers, I don't know, like whatever, candy wrappers, or some earrings that need to be put away. Like you would think, like even if you just clean it off, dust it off, and put it back on, and then eventually it's like when you get in the habit of doing that, you realize, wait, this thing is like become part of, etched into this piece of furniture. Like right now, when my guinea pig was sick, I crushed up some medicine in a mortar and a pestle, and it's still in there. And I'm like, that should be washed and put down. And I slowly cleaned out stuff after the guinea pig because it was very traumatizing. But as much as I can, because I was working and it was difficult. Putting that away, washing it, putting it away, putting it in the drawer. And the medicine that I got, I never take. So, it's going to take. But I need to talk to the acupuncture about it. Like, this is good. And I would like to say, someone's supposed to make me herbal formula. I never got it. I would like to say also that, excuse me, I get to the point where it's like, let's stay up all night, let's do this, and then I realize that I'm really early to wake up, and so I'm like, go to sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night with pain from a car accident, like, wake up in the night, can't sleep, and then when the morning comes, I can't sleep anymore. So it's like, okay, just get a good night. Like, I think, oh, I'm going to do this cleaning and do this and vacuum and sweep and mop and do this in the middle of the night and stay up till midnight. And then I'm also like, oh yeah, by the way, you're also on call for birth, so get home from work, make dinner, go to bed, and then you got a few. If you're waking up at 5 or 6 because you have severe excruciating headache, you're not going to get up and do laundry. You're going to get up and be like, what can I do to get rid of this headache? Like, I just have to, like, I don't know, I just have to, it's like I have to think and think and think and move, and I don't know. I haven't really known how to get rid of it, because nobody's really discussed this with me about my options of that. But I, as someone who's a physician, I have to, like, as a naturopath, I have to do what works for me, and I'm pretty much a food is medicine person, so, like, or water, or, you know, sunshine, like, that's my favorite thing. So right now, sound machine? It's like, I swear I didn't turn it on. I have no business cards. I have some business cards that are cheesy because I made them. And I'm trying to be like, do I put my cell phone? Do I put an office phone? Do I put, like, if I can't put my business name and the office of a different business name on the same card? Like, I'm trying to figure that out, and I'm like, do I just print my cards from some sheets I bought? Or do I don't know what to do. In the flyer, I feel like if I had my clinic, I would be, like, marketing like a crazy person, but this happened to me before, trying to get some people help or get some stuff with this nonprofit I work with, and they weren't putting my bio up, and I was telling people I was part of this group, and then they were looking me up, or I was looking them up, trying to show them, and trying to see my bio, and it wasn't, like, I just felt like kind of shady, you know? I want to be able to be like, especially when it has to do with medicine or nonprofits or volunteering, involves money. You want to have a legitimate contact. Like, anyone has a legitimate contact. Nowadays, it's like, we're not just, like, at home, we have a specific phone dedicated to this business, and if you work in outside of that, if you work in a clinic, you have a specific phone set up for this business. Like, it's oftentimes people giving cell phones, or I'm meeting a lot of health practitioners that are working at multiple locations. Like, I want to see, is that going to be like your cell number? Can I, if I remember something I had to ask you at 10:30 at night, do I have to call that number? Do I call, you know, in olden days, people would have cells for their business, but now people don't really do that much. At least the people I know, they just have one phone. They don't even have a home phone. And same thing, do I give out a home phone or something? Thinking, you know, oh, like, I don't want the family getting woke up. Because it's like, if I call, like, one of the doctors, I'm like, oh, if I call this number, I think it rings at the office. I'm just going to call them in the middle of the night, because that's the only time I think of it. Or I got to go somewhere at 7, so I'm going to call them at 6:30 and leave a message and say, this is, you know, what I'm talking about. So now, yeah, I'm just like, what's that commercial I think they were talking about, curly hair? I think that I'm just going to, make some flyers. And it's not going to be, like, forget about the business name. Like, I have a board that's like it's like the size of a torso. You know, I'm supposed to put a hole in it and carry it around on a belt that one of my teachers made and shellacked and aired out and all that stuff. And oh, they got on there now. It looks like strawberry. Oh my gosh, I am still wanting this strawberry lemonade. I'm not gonna lie, I'm thirsty, but I was trying to open this water bottle with one hand when it worked. I think the point is like, who is this person? This person is a physician. This person gives prescriptions out to legitimate patients, like patients actually evaluated, check your med list, check your herbs and supplements, your blood pressure, you know, etc., heart and lung. Who am I pointing to myself? Who am I? That's what I put on the flyer. I'm just starting out. Get a phone number. Get a way to make an appointment. Let them know what area that I'll meet them in. Let them know if I'm doing home visits. Like, whoever's the future physician. Just like, I mean, just sitting here with ideas in my head is not going to do anything. So I have shared another video. Thank you very much for a comment about organizing everything, and I don't remember exactly what I was talking about in the video as far as I try to say like a little bit about home as a journey and about what I'm doing as far as being as like a working parent and someone who's trying to make a business as a doctor who hasn't been able to set up anything. And the only other problem right now is the clinic that I'm supposed to be working at. They kept giving me different hours, so it's like every week I call like this hours, no, now this hours, now this hours, and I'm really having a hard time with those hours. I try to work my other job around it, but then it's like my kid has some mandatory thing, and you can only come at this time. You can only come at 10:45 in the morning on the day that you need to be at work, and it's like you can only come on this day where I have a mandatory work meeting. Like I have to come, and it's like I just am going week after week with the time not working, and it's like I really only other positions. The point is, I was planning on having a small clinic by myself and then potentially working with someone else if I found someone else I could work with. But being able to have that 24/7 access so that I could say, not that I want to work 24 hours a day, but I could say that, let's just throw it out there. Say that when I got started, I wanted to have a small building and lease it 3 days a week. 8-hour days. Okay. Hour. You're gonna go in for like, I did an MRI and these are the only times that work. Well, that's during one of my 3 days. I don't want to do it, but then I have this other job at this time, I have this meeting at this time, and then I have this at this time. And so it's like, just doing that. Oh, let me block these 3 hours out. However, when I'm done with that, I can still work until 7 o'clock at night. Or if I had access to my own place, and I'm having a real hard time because I don't have access, I don't have the key. It's like, I can't come early and then go do the activity because I don't have a key, I don't have access to building, and I'm really concerned because it's making it hard. I wanted to be a really available doctor, but I also wanted to have patients that would build up my practice, still be able to care for my kids as a single parent, and I have mandatory trainings and stuff that come up all the time, and births and stuff that cancel out my day. It's like you say, oh, I can only do, someone says you can do this once a week or twice a week or once a month, and if something comes up during that time that's mandatory, it's like you just missed out, basically. And it's really hard because if I had my own place, I'd be like, well, I can't go this Monday, you need to go there soon, can you do it Monday evening? Can you do it Tuesday? Can you do it Wednesday? I don't have the options now. It's like, can you wait a month? Can you wait 3 weeks? So I'm having very little confidence in advertising because I'm booked and I'm not able to utilize the space. I'm not able to be like, hey, call me up and I'll check out my schedule. It's like, where does it look like 6 weeks from now? And their medicine has run out and all this stuff. So it's like, I'm having some opportunities missed. And I do revert back to having this whole 2 years of reminding this family member who was promising to help me get on my feet these few months after graduation and getting my license. This family member has kind of backed off on that assistance, and because of free paying for parking at the hospital, shadowing, having to pay every time I go, and driving out of town, out of state to do observation hours because it was the only place I could find, driving out in the country to do observation, and at the end of the next county, it's like that all added up, and I said I will not be blocked. I will use my loan money for what I'm doing in that school, and paying for books and paying for supplies. I didn't even really buy supplies. Like, it would be nice if I had a tablet and a computer that worked, but I don't. So it works okay. It works. It's just not ideal for me right now. It's not the best. So I'm having a hard time because that plan of having the family member support to help us get on our feet, and I would have even borrowed the money from them. They promised to give it, and they didn't. And when I got the hint and clue that it wasn't going to happen, I applied for this job immediately. And I didn't even apply, like, no, this is not going to happen. I don't have the energy for this. I have to pass my board. That's my first priority. And then some people were messaging me, hey, apply for this job, for the deadline coming up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been praying and asking God to help me and trying to just be like, oh, it'll be okay. This person they'll follow through. They're not going to lie. And then it's like, it just crumbled. It just crumbled. The cookie crumbled. And I'm still, it's just like I was saying earlier, I feel bitter. I feel like energy. This is me and my family. That person's got their life set up. That person has their house and their cars and their retirement and their bank accounts, and they've got their clothes and their shoes and their food that they need. And it's like, if I don't have it and they're not going to fulfill the promise, and then it's, even if they did fulfill the promise, I still am going to work and get myself to the standard that I want it to be at. So now I'm asking God to give me energy to work extra hard and to bust my butt and to really say this. People that end up with cancer, and people that a lot of people were busting their butts in my family. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of women died early. They work so hard, and they work to the bone. They work 13-hour days, and being up. My mom would be up in the roller rink as a manager doing books 2 o'clock in the morning on school nights and stuff. Like, it was, I was there too with her. It was just like, and then at 54 or whatever, she died of stress-related illness, and illness that's also related to eating poor diet. She had the money to buy healthy foods. She bought some healthy foods, but she also bought a lot of fast foods. And her cousins and stuff did the same thing. In the last, one of her cousins said, I didn't know that this kind of food was bad for you and that it would kill you. And that was the last, she died after that phone conversation. And I just feel sick because I'm like, I gotta bust my butt. And several of these women were single moms. My mom was raised by a single mom, and my dad worked out of town, and she followed the path of her single mom. She followed the teachings. Bust your butt. Work hard. Give money. It's like, I don't know. Buy a car, and when you don't even pay for this, pay for your bills, and pay for your food. It was like, I don't know if they combined money or not. They didn't tell me, so it's none of my business. But it's like, that's what I was like. It's like, if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. If I don't buy food, no one else is going to do it. If I'm so sick, or my back is out, or I got an automobile accident and I don't go to work, nobody else is going to do it. Call up all my friends, can you help me? I'm sick, I'm in a car accident, my kids need food. No, nobody did it. One person I met, one person said they'd come over on the bus. It's like a 1 or 2 hour bus ride. And I declined her help. Or she was like, oh, my boyfriend's doing this, and he's going to church, and he's got an old car, but he might be able to drive me to your house on Sunday. But we have this gig. And I was just like, I still appreciate the offering. But I was like, I can't have you getting rides and having to rush places and riding the bus for 2 hours. I mean, that person had their own health issues, I could have accepted the help, but I just feel like I would have wanted to pay her. The insurance wouldn't pay, even though I was off work, they wouldn't pay, and I didn't ask for it back then because I finally just got through and asked them, and because they had played phone tag with people and stuff. They're like, no, we're not. Actually, we said we would pay, but then we said we're not going to pay. So I'm scared of. I've done this before. You have insurance or this and that, and then you end up getting a bunch of bills, and you're like, oh, I guess it wasn't actually covered, even though it said it's covered. But under these circumstances, not. So I'm just having a hard time I bought The Little Red Hen. There's a couple books I bought. There's another book. Someone told me what it's about. There's another book and some other things, and I'm like, dude, I hate it a little bit because I wrote a speech, and the person, this leader of this group, deleted this off the speech, and I felt guilty for having it in there. But I struggled so much without the kid's dad's help, and with being homeless and foodless and like no clothes, no diapers, like having the state say, too bad, we're not going to help you, and we're not going to we won't let you do this program. So I volunteered, did the program. The program's supposed to help you do this, this, and this because you fulfilled all the requirements and did the attendance. And then they still declined any of the services. It was like everyone else around me was getting the services, and they didn't really even deserve them. Like as far as they already had their own stuff taken care of, they got additional help reports on. I felt so fatigued and so tired and so alone, and I asked people to help. I'm like, no, we're busy. It's like, can I drop my kid at your house? You live a block from school, and I have to be at school at 7 or whatever. School starts at 8. Can I drop my kid at your house? Can they sit on your front porch? No. Like, this is like somewhere, like at least it's like a place where they have permission to be there. Like, I don't want to drop kids off at the park. People always get child welfare calling them because they leave their 14-year-old at the park or something ridiculous, or 11-year-old or whatever, and it's like, no, you can't do that. And it's like, oh, okay. And just having so much excess stress, and so I'm like, I mean, it's a choice, but I was just like, you ask 100 times, 100 people, I can't believe this. I can't, it's like being an island with your kids. I was like, I can't believe this. So I kept reading The Little Red Hen, borrowing it from the library, getting different versions of it, reading it online and all this stuff, and I was like, dude, put that in my speech, like, oh, sometimes I felt like a little hen, because it's like, me and my kids had to, like, we had inspection, my kids had to clean, but you're eating my popcorn, there you go, and it's like, okay, you have hot cocoa with milk, okay, some cheese sticks, and this and that, and it's like, I just felt so bad, because I didn't feel like they were getting as nurtured as they should, but then it's like, we have to work together, and we're all tired, and like, imagine your little 3-year-old and your little 4-year-old, and they want to take a nap, but they're at school and daycare and driving in traffic for 2 hours. It's just like they finally zonk out, and his me had to carry them around, and it was just so hard. It's so hard to be alone. Like, I see all these people on Facebook. They're like, yeah, I'm going to party, go out for drinks, going dancing. Like, who the heck's watching your kids? Like, I mean, my kids are old now, and I can leave and do that. But it's like sometimes just having someone emotionally, like when people have a grandma or aunt or a friend or neighbors, like having someone emotional who your kids can confide in and talk to and hang out and watch old shows and laugh together. Like, sometimes it will give this pain in the heart. My heart breaks on a day like today when I'm driving around lost, stuck in 5 o'clock p.m. traffic in this city. And some holidays they have said in the national news that the traffic is only behind Los Angeles, California. And it's just like, I just feel like Little Red Hen, well, who's gonna help me with this? No, we're not. We're too tired. We're just not doing it. We can help this. And it's like, now that I'm like, have this physician's license, and I'm just like, I'm not getting any patients. Like, who's gonna help me to make some money? And I have a hard time because people treat me like garbage, and I have low self-confidence. But it's like, I am not gonna. I do hundreds of thousands maybe of extra hours, and people that like naturopathic medicine won't like when I say even in hospitals, but it's like seeing the extreme, seeing high-risk births, seeing the emergency room. Like, as a naturopath, if someone comes into with certain symptoms or preeclampsia, I need to know how to talk to the people. If I'm calling 911, if the EMTs come, we've gone places where EMTs come, we're trying to tell them, the doctors with the midwives, we're trying to tell them what's really going on, what do they need a mask for somebody, or, someone bleeding, is it, was the temperature that last took the vitals, So I'm not trying to say, people that are naturopathic, we never did hospital stuff. So that's stupid. That's why you don't belong up there. You're supposed to do natural stuff. But as a responsible naturopath, and any physician in a office, not a hospital, to know you need to know how to pick up the phone and say this person's coming. We can't admit people. We can't admit people into mental hospitals. But I've learned over the years by doing extra work, by busting out and getting credit, I have learned the steps to take to get someone the fastest care, instead of having them sitting in a chair in a waiting room not getting help for 14 hours or for 3 hours or for 20 minutes. Like, urgency, like, mental health people's around for days or 30 to the clinic and not having a point. Like, I've seen this kind of stuff, and a lot of it is like I voluntarily stayed after to help people. I voluntarily stayed after to observe. And I feel like I'm doing too much of that still, and I'm like, I need to use some of my energy. Like, what if I just say there's a big class of patients that I've done our year training, or they had us do shifts where you do 2 back-to-back 24-week shifts where you get to see the same people in similar conditions. It's like, why don't I just highlight those ones where it's just like week after week after week it was the same thing, like, and then some things that like empathy, that I've actually helped people with weight loss. I've helped people with hypertension. Done plenty of gynecological exams, not just on gyne models. I did one on the gyne model, but the other exams, sometimes they didn't count them because we didn't do the bimanual or whatever. It's like in doing PAPs and all that stuff is like, if someone asked me to do a PAP right now, I'd feel comfortable doing it. I'd feel comfortable filling out the information, putting the box out, and calling the lab to have that picked up. If someone wanted a blood draw right now, I would feel comfortable doing that. If someone wanted a diet plan, an exercise plan, I would do a physical exam, do heart and lungs, check their reflux and all that, check their past history, get their, vitals and notes, and put them on a slow side until, I get other doctors and so, food, different thing. Like, I have a lot of stuff that I'd be very comfortable with, and I had a friend who was a doctor who was in my class who was very good at motivating me to get a chief complaint, which person I like to get. Sometimes it's a repeat customer, but a repeat patient, but a new customer, you don't know much about them, they're coming in, say, for type 2 diabetes. Pulling, it's like an EMT. Oh, what's happening? Oh, it's an infant? Oh, they're not breathing? Oh, this? Or a kid fell and bumped their forehead? Or someone's having an asthma attack? It's like, you have a standard bag, but it's like, wait, is there some specialty things that I'm going to grab? And then it's like, you get in the house. You might not need the oxygen. They might be breathing on their own. You might not need epinephrine. You might not need, a neck brace, or you might not need to put gauze and stuff on their forehead. Bleeding might have stopped. It's like, what do you need at this point? Like, you have it. You have it. That's standard back to everyone, and you hear some special those tools. And then once you go and meet the patient and see what's going on, then you're able to you're there one-on-one, case-by-case basis, and that's how the type of naturopath is going to be. So anyone who's in Portland, OR, please come visit me. I have Tower of Health website, Tower of Health LLC. It's in Portland, Oregon. I will post my website on there, and I'm gonna keep updating it. But to tell you the truth, I'm kind of scared, because I'm like, I have a year or two left of training with a midwife, and it's like a lot of requirements that I'm very happy to do, because it's giving me the ability to deliver baby at home by myself, and even have an assistant and a student to have that knowledge to do what I can as a human to make things go smoothly. And so that's where I am right now. Is just, I mean, I think I kind of answered the question. It's like, just like, people are like, oh, you make mistakes, oh, you're bad, oh, why are you not working as a doctor, why are you working in this, like, as a office staff, like, I don't know why are you single parent, I don't know, why do I look, someone said they looked like I had my kids when I was 5, and I was like, is that an insult? It's like, they're like, oh my god, like, they let her touch my face and my skin, and I was like, well, come to me, I tell you what I eat. It's like, I'll tell you what I do, because it's like, dude, actually that person looks somewhat youthful too, but I'm like, dude, we're probably pretty close to the same daggone age. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not gonna say that to them. Like, some of these people, I'm like, I'm actually older than you. It's like, but they don't know, they don't realize that. So it's like, I just want to be able to share, and y'all have money, you know, if I holders, that's me. We all have money. We all have money, you know, and it's just what we want to spend it on, and I pray that someone spends it on me. So I had a goal of getting 1 or 2 patients a week, or I had a goal of getting 1 or 2 patients a month, and I haven't advertised, got anyone. I need to have some kind of meeting with a group that I'm interested in working with, which I already signed a contract, and just be like, I'm not trying to ask them to advertise and do this and do that and go out of the way, but I need to find out legally with them too, how can I advertise using your name? How can, you know, I ask these questions, so I should probably start with that. It's like, this project, it's all of our baby. It takes a village, you know, and I need to realize that the more customers I get and the permission I get to use their logos and stuff, the more that I'm going to be able to get out and bring money, not just to myself, but to them and to their office staff that have so kindly, graciously let me into this facility. Their other office staff, the more practitioners are making, the more they're going to get, and staff. Well, everyone, owners, everyone, you know, and especially even the people that are leasing the building and the people that we pay to renovate the building and paying back all of that. Like, sometimes it feels like, oh, why can't I just get a small space and just be like, this is me? But at the same time, without a family support and without any mentor really about this, it's like, how do I go about, like, just because, even if I have my own place at 24/7, doesn't mean people are going to come to me, doesn't mean people are going to trust me, doesn't mean people are going to be like, what, you've been a doctor for 6 months? Oh, that's creepy. But what's scary is, I learned so much, and I'm still got a lot of hands-on, it's just that I'm not getting paid for it, so it's like, I'm just grateful. Like, I'm just hoping that all this, when people do see me, they're going to be like, on the vitals, and, you know, I've had some doctors just be like shaking, they're dropping their stuff all over. Not that it doesn't happen, but it's just like, oh, it looks like you haven't kept up on doing this. So that's what I'm going to say right now, and I'm going to push stop, and I'm going to let you know what's going on organizing home and the kids eating well, getting these flyers made. It's like, I don't care if I put a picture on my face and say naturopath physician, call me. It's like a wanted poster, like the opposite of a wanted. You wanted to your doctor. Getting these videos moved off of here. Those are my goals, and getting a good night's sleep, because I really need to go ahead and can to fix my house and my device. I hate to say this. They got EMTs on the cop show, and someone got shot, and a bunch of people got shot, and they're using oxygen masks. I can study oxygen rebreather. Someone's talking about doing IV treatments, B vitamins or something, or epinephrine, B vitamins, someone with anaphylaxis or something, and then they had the epidural and the oxygen and all this stuff, and the mask already ready in one place, and I was like, dude, I need to go and print that. Like, I should like, that might be more important than cleaning out my refrigerator or whatever. Cleaning toilets. Like, I don't have any pictures. That would be a nice thing. Even if it's saved in your phone or something, or in your glove box, that's going to be faster than having an ambulance come, you know. So I'm in a position right now where I hate to say it like this, but I feel like everything that I need, I don't. I've been alone with my kids 10.5 years, and everything that I need, no, I'm not saying everything, okay, so let's say at least 75%, let's be generous, at least 75% of the things I need help with, or the things that need to be done. I'm not saying I'm not trying to give my responsibilities away to everyone. It's up to me. I'm still trying to figure out how to get two tires on my car. I was driving around for a month with 2 tires with a hole in one of them, being called 2 tires, one with a hole in it, both balls going on burst. Put my brakes on, people in the rain in the winter when it's like 32 degrees outside, 31 degrees. I was like with between the sliding around, sliding on the highway, and people blowing out their tires, bald tires, I finally had to just credit card 2 tires. So it's like everything that I need help with, it's like I gotta figure out how to do this. How it's like time, money, resources. And it's like sometimes I just want to be like, I throw my hands up. I'm like, God, I can't do it. I am done. It's like the times my back goes out, it's like, well, too bad, get up and do it anyways. Like, alright, kids, give me the crutches. Like, I literally, I have crutches, and I use them. My kids would help me. And he curls up on the floor with my back out, because I've overstrained or leg cramps, and I'm just like, well, I still got like, they're just listen to my body and stop, but it's like, if I don't do it, no one will. And people say that's prideful, or that they just, it's like people don't want to hang out with me because I'm intense, or I'm overwhelmed, or people say, oh, you're spread thin, and all this stuff, and it's like, until someone helps, I've got to do this stuff. And they're like, oh, you don't know how to have fun, you don't know how to just stop and have a weekend and go camping and do this and do that, and go to a hotel and go to Vegas and do this and do that, and hang out with these people and have a restaurant, and, but you know what, you're right, I don't know how to do it. And I don't have anyone to do that with. And if I even thought of doing something by myself, I don't have the money to do it. It's like, I'm lucky to go to my sidewalk out front. There's a quarter block of sidewalk outside of our house. No more sidewalk. The rest you're walking the road. I'm lucky to walk with myself, my neighbor, or my kid back and forth to get exercise. Like, that is like the highlight of my life right now. Like, if I didn't do that, that's like, besides that and reading, like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting in the aisle, relaxing with the umbrella in my drink. Like, that's like, and most of the books I read are because they're mandatory, so it's like, oh well, whatever. So I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have the strength to do this stuff. And when I throw my hands up, I'm always thinking, oh, God's probably waiting for me to throw my hands up and say I'm done. It's like, let go, let God, and it's like, then like, take a deep breath, take that breath, and take that rest, and then just allow God to be like, okay, today you have to go under the kitchen vacuum. Like, it's like, well, that wasn't on my to-do. It's like, shh. Like, today you have to sweep out your front porch. Like, you never know what's happening. There could have been centipedes everywhere or something. There could have been tarantulas, eggs or something. It's like, you never know. It's like, today's the day you wash your car. Like, oh, maybe because your car is washed, you didn't get in an accident because it was so shiny that someone saw you going around the corner because of the sun. You know, it's like, you don't know. So that's, I think a lot of times it's God telling me, but sometimes I wonder if I don't want to do this, but sometimes it's just like one of those kind, it's not sci-fi, like beach type cheesy movies where there's some kind of ancient piece of wood or amulet or something where somebody switches places with someone for a day. Like, sometimes I want to be like this, going dancing and having visitors and having people bring them food, you know. It's like, are these people like really being nurtured and being able to breathe and being able to enjoy life more than me. Like, sometimes I just want to be like, let's switch. I want to just feel like what it feels like. Someone who's who's in a wheelchair and never walked. Like, what does it feel like to just walk? Or to hear one day. But it's like, well, they have their life and I have mine, and this isn't a sci-fi movie, so that's not really going to happen. Like, I mean, they can't walk. They can go to a beach that has a boardwalk that's handicap accessible, or bowling or something. It's like, me as a single parent, maybe it's like everyone else going out having fun. Maybe I could just take a nap and snore while I'm reading a book. Like, or if I'm such a geek and I like to read case files and, peer-reviewed articles, I could do that. Oh, and still vacuum my couch is super apart. So, yes. So, that's what I'm going to do right now. And then I'm going to ask the kids how they're doing. God bless.